Hello, hello, and welcome to Vero's Bloom. And I'm Veronica Caldas and so excited that you're here. This looks like a different setup because I am honored to interview the beautiful Teresa Lugo. And I wanted to go live. Actually, we both insisted on going live, however, technology allowed us to make
Mm-hmm.
this happen. So you're seeing my screen as I'm on Zoom with her here from my home in Chicago, and she's in her beautiful home in Puerto Rico. And so grateful for technology because we could really get real anxious and nervous about things not working or us not knowing how to do it and get really stuck in not knowing that it's perfect or that it's going to be received right. And so just winging it and showing up in messy, imperfect action is what we're doing today. And I just want to
Mm-hmm.
introduce you by reading her bio and letting you know why we're going to have this beautiful hour with her. She wrote the book Homeless Mind. It's an amazing, incredible self-discovery book, and I'm going to read the back about a little bit about Teresa's journey. She's an executive life coach, Reiki master, alumni of Masterforce Inc., and an author. She co-founded Land and Heart Project in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria ravaged the island, a nonprofit profit organization that assists the farmers in the restoration of their farms. She is a mother of two and a glamour of three. She enjoys
Mm-hmm.
cooking, skiing, being out at the beach, and camping. Teresa continues to coach women into living their best life possible. She began a podcast and an online course, Getting Dressed from the Inside Out, in order to reach the masses. Write her at closetcoach2012 at gmail.com to connect with this beautiful soul.
Mm-hmm.
Teresa, I also see back here that Dr. Suzanne Blazing says this is a deeply courageous book that Teresa takes us with her on her spiritual journey through pain, loss, and suffering, only to find her powerful and authentic self. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for writing
Yes.
this book. We're
No,
so
thank you
grateful to
so
have
much.
you here, Teresa. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be on your platform today. I love you. I love what you're up to and how you're transforming lives and doing incredible work yourself. So it's one thing I would say is that no one knows when God is going to pluck them out of whatever that norm is, right? And I think that the book speaks a lot about that because at that time, I wrote the book because my father had passed away. And at that time, I had two clothing stores in Oak Park, Illinois. I had my home, I had my children, a lot on my plate, and I was working nonstop, nonstop. I was the owner. I had no help. I mean, as far as doing all the work, right? Because at the time, it's like you're human resource, you're a janitor, you are a salesperson, you're the buyer, you're everything. So when my father passed, basically um, I actually felt my father's last breath and I was away. I was in Wisconsin and this happened to him in Chicago. He was at the Northwestern and I had just left him. I decided to take a weekend off. My sisters were going to watch him. And then as this experience unfolded, um, I I knew that my father tapped me basically on his way out. I felt his last breath. I got back to Chicago right away. I got the call, come back, Pop's not well. And sure enough, the next day he passed. And it was through that journey that God said, okay, that's it. That's it. No more. I need to bring you on this side now. I need you to do this work over here. I mean, suddenly and abruptly, as God would do it, right? And it could be in our everyday life, it could be divorce. Or the husband just one morning says, "Hey, I want a divorce." Boom. Like, whoa, wait, hold on, right? So it's the same feeling, right? Or if you lose a child, if you lose a dog, it's the same feeling. It's like, wait a minute. Who said this is okay? Now you got to give me some notice. Let me get ready. Let me hold on. So I basically went into a really dark place for a long time. Didn't want to be around customers anymore. I mean, I lost me. I lost everything that I thought I was in one year,
I'm sure a
basically.
lot of people can relate to that feeling of loss and grief. Um,
It
Teresa.
Yeah. And I think that um it's not talked about enough, right? It's not talked about enough. And then the thing about it is I have 11 brothers and sisters, and not one of them came to my house to find out what's going on with you. I mean, my boat is sinking. I'm losing my businesses. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my house. I lost my house at the end of everything. I lost everything. And that was a process of 5 years after my father passed. So the first thing I learned, the first lesson I learned, because I was like, where's everybody at? I was hoping people would call me just to go see a movie or to have a dinner, just to get out of my suffering, my pain, or whatever that, because I didn't understand what I was going through. And one day, my son actually, my teenage son started acting up, and then he wanted to see a psychiatrist. That's what he said. Mom, I want to see a psychiatrist. I got issues I got to deal with. I was like, really? Oh my gosh. Yeah, for sure. Boom, let's go. Got him a psychiatrist. I think 3 weeks into that, I found out it really was for me because he invited me inside the room. And that's when everything just started to unfold for me, really. To be able to sit before this lady and talk. And what I found through therapy was that I was a teen pregnancy. I was about 17 when I got pregnant. And my father was the one person that I hated that I hurt. When I saw his eyes, when he heard the news, I still can remember right now. Like I saw those, that moment for me was like, okay, I got to do whatever I can going forward to show my dad I'm a good girl, Dad. I'm good. I'm powerful. I'm not that, you know. I felt like I really hurt him, and I think he looked at me differently, like I was not. I felt dirty. It was weird. It was just a weird thing. But anyways, what she was able to do was she was able to show me and connect the dots that after my father died, I just gave up all that because really connect this. Did you do all that because of your dad, or did you do all that because you were passionate about it, or did the both blend in? Like how do we? And when she gave me those words, I was like, oh my God, I never thought of it like that. I realized that I worked my butt off successfully. And when my father died, I really didn't care about none of that. And I really understood that it was really me trying to show him that I was a good person and that everything that he taught me did matter. And so when I was able to see all that and connect the dots, which I highly recommend anybody that's hearing this to go talk to someone, because through talking is when you can find the answer of whatever it is that you're going through, you know? And so the book goes on and on. So go ahead. You could ask your question. I could probably go on and on for hours.
Yeah, no, I would love for you to let us know what do you want the readers to know about this book?
um, well, the book is about perseverance and faith. One reviewer, a person that reviewed the book, said that Let's see. Great book on how traumatic events can leave your mind feeling homeless while seeking a peaceful place to rest your spirit and your soul. And another
Tell us a
reader
little
said
bit
that,
of tell us a little bit about what you mean by that or what that means for those who never read this book.
so it means that we can define things when we understand them. We really do. We can define anything. That softball. Oh, you throw it and you catch it. But when you go through a place of almost an abyss of where am I? What happened to me? What's going on? And you feel alone and your desires and your passion is not there, etc. It's like you find yourself leading those emotions into another definition of who you are. Because the person you thought you were, you're not that person anymore. Completely stripped of all the labels that you gave yourself in those days. And you're crossing over to, okay, I release all of those labels. I release all those beliefs of who I am and who people thought I was. And I surrender my spirit, my soul to God, to the universe to use me in whatever area he's or she or universe and God, everybody's going to use me because I'm not familiar with this part of it. So it's almost like in Spanish, there's a song, Quítate la máscara, right? It's like all of a sudden you just take off your mask of like, I'm not a mom. I'm not a business owner. I'm not Teresa, the store owner and the dog and the cat and the house. I'm like just a spirit. I'm the soul seeking for refuge. And that's where the title came from. Homeless Mind came from. The therapist recommended I get a puppy. And I didn't want to. I didn't want a dog. It's like, oh, you should get a dog. You'll enjoy it. And so when I got the dog, I got myself a cute little Maltese. He was so cute. And this time I found myself walking outside in nature with the dog. I never did that. I mean, I've worked my butt off. I think I was 48, 49 at that time. And I don't think I ever took walks, like around my neighborhood. I got in my car and go to work so it was very new for me. And then as I was walking my dog at the time, I got these two words, homeless mind. And I was like, just like, who's talking to me? Because it was audibly in my ear. It was like someone had said it to me. And I said, what is that? And Spirit said, that's the book you're going to write. What book? I'm not a writer. This is me talking. And I hear again, well, you're going to begin it in Puerto Rico and you're going to finish it in Puerto Rico. So all of this stuff is happening to me. I'm hearing all these messages clearly as if someone's speaking to me. And I start to see that I'm on a different plane. Like there's some spiritual work going on in my life right now.
Wow.
And it's beautiful and it's scary. And I don't know if I'm ready for this. And so that's where the title Homeless Mind came from the
Wow.
spirit. Yeah. So this book is a great book to get to read, learn about a one woman's journey to get on the right side of things when trauma hits, just to allow the river to flow. Don't go against it. No, I want my store. No, I want my home. No, I want my husband. No, I want my that's my marriage. Or just allow spirit. Just allow spirit to cuddle you and comfort you and let you know that you've been plucked out of the world and now you're in this new way of being and you're going to be used for greater things now. And not that your old life didn't matter, it's just that this new life is going to, God is going to use you for other things, and you have to be okay with that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's such a beautiful testimony to deep trust and faith.
yeah, it is. Yeah, and
And
also the book talks a little bit about my relationship with my son at the time because he was a teen and he was acting up, and I'm living in this home. I'm trying to keep my shit together, basically. So I was like, look, you need to get it together. And at one point, I wanted to leave him. I'm like, I need you to leave. Because the way I was raised, you don't disrespect the house, right? But God started speaking to me about that. He's like, if you kick him out, he'll have nobody. He'll have the streets. You'll lose him. And I was like, what? Yeah. So what if your mother raised you guys that way? You need to keep your son, pray for him, go into spiritual warfare for him, because at that age, the devil comes to steal and all that stuff. And I'm living in Oak Park, and these cops, the white cops of Oak Park, were just doing a lot of stuff, picking him up. And I was like, okay, let me do what God is saying, because I really got that we as parents, we do walk away from our kids when they don't behave. And that's not okay. Even though we were raised to believe that's okay. That is not okay. Especially me as a single parent. It's me and him. If I did that, he would have had nobody. So I think that part of the book talks about parents standing with their children, not standing for them or anything, but standing with them, even if they are not the perfect son or the perfect daughter. Just let them know they are perfect right there where they're at, and continue to pray them through it, and have faith that they are here for their lessons too. And that was huge for me because I wasn't raised that way. I was like, you're out of here. You disrespect the house, you're out of here. I pay the bills, da da da. So that was huge for me too. So I write about that, and I write about experiences I had in Oak Park, being a single mom and a homogenized area. It's it's a lot in there for parents or single parents to realize that you are not alone. The fight is real, but God is more powerful than all of it. And the
wow.
faith, yeah, and the faith that you just say, Lord, that's your son. That's not my son, or that's not my daughter. Lord, show me how I could take a stand for this child, even though I want to choke him.
Okay.
So, yeah, yeah,
Right. I'm as a daughter and also as a mother and also as a wife, I can relate to so much of what you're saying and so much of trusting that God is with everyone, that we are all God's children, that God is working his magic in everyone, and everyone has a journey, everyone has a lesson, everyone has a life lesson, and we all learn at our own pace, at our own time, and it's all divine timing. So
it
on that
really
note,
is.
what are some of the lessons that you came away with after writing the book?
Um, well, obviously the strongest one was to stand with my son through the adversity. Um, Grabbing onto the cloak of Jesus, you know, when I was going through this time, and I still continue to, okay, I'm still, you know, feeling the same things that I was going through then, still today, because it's a lot, to kind of pick up your cross and follow Christ, right? It's hard. It's easier to go out there and work hard and get a nicer car and keep moving and help people once in a while if I want to, if not. But, you know, it really is about trusting God with all your heart and all your soul. And this is not religious, nothing to do with religion. So people right away would say, "Oh, Teresa, you're born again Christian. Are you a Christian now? Are you?" No, it's not that. It's just that I really get that I have no control over my life. No one has control over their life, you know? Allowing the river to flow as it's going to flow. And you can't try to fight the river. If it's going that downstream and you're trying to fight upstream, you're going to lose the battle. And what can you learn from all that? Meditation, taking hot baths, breathing through it, forgiveness. I talk a little bit, of course, about forgiveness, forgiving a lot of a lot of things that I did even as a parent. So I had to ask forgiveness from my kids because I found myself working a lot, not giving them any time and just demanding things and sit down, roll over. Ugh. So I had to ask for forgiveness from my children because I wanted them to know I love them. I didn't want to hurt them. It's just that I didn't know better. Um, Fight or flight, right? You're fighting this thing called life. But, we have our children that we have to be available for. And, if you feel depression, if you find that, you went through the death of your mom or your death of your dad or the death of your son or your daughter or divorce, and you find yourself in a depression, just realize that it's not really depression. It's that life is trying to show you something different. This is
Yeah.
not, you're not, your spirit and your soul are not aligned because your flesh is like, you know, in fight or flight. I gotta do this or I'm gonna get that. So I need to do this. Instead of saying, release. I release everything that I have to you, universe, to you, God. I'm going to ask that you, like in the book, I talked about God. I talked to God and I said, would you, because he told me I was going to go through something. God, in his word, I heard it so clearly. You're going to go through a really dark time, which is our dark shadow time. And I remember replying, as long as you take care of my health, Lord, I'll do whatever you ask me to do. Because we know that when you go through stress and trauma and depression and PTSD and anxiety, you're affecting the flow of oxygen in your body, the flow of your meridians, your chakras. And if you don't allow yourself to connect, well, let's just say this, if you don't allow yourself to go through the suffering and breathe at the same time, then you will feel the peace of Christ, right? If you go through it that way. But if you go through the suffering and then the anxieties and the sweating then you're going to end up with this ease. It's going to show up as a cyst. It could show up as a fibroid, a heart attack. So all of those things are important to understand when you're going through something, that you do put some things in place. It could be meditation, it could be relaxation, visualization, see yourself in 6 months. Hey, I know for the next 6 months, I'm going to go through a tough time, but I know in 6 months I'll be okay. Kind of like shift that energy so that energy, that bad energy won't get stuck in your body and create the dis-ease. So, yeah, it's a lot in that book. It's a small book. Actually, it's right here. It's not like, and the writings are big. But everything I wrote here, God wrote. This is all God. This is not me at all. And I just started writing when I came to Puerto Rico. That's how, the book started to develop. I came here to Puerto Rico when I started writing in 2015. Oh, 2016. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. What would be the biggest gift the readers would get by reading this book and following this journey that you put on paper for us to?
Let's see. I would say I would say to allow yourself to release the labels that you put on yourself throughout your life. Just allow the labels to fall off and trust the process. Whatever you're desiring in your life right now, trust the process. There's this big ride here in Puerto Rico que se llama el monstruo, the zip line. And you're on your belly like this. And let me tell you, when I first got on there, I think I went to the bathroom 3 times porque yo estaba,
Gaga.
I can't, right, I was going to say the word, right? Estaba yo que no podía. Pero I said, I got to do it. I got to do it because I know that fear looks like that, right? If many people have gotten on this ride, many thousands of people have gotten on this ride. I'll be okay too. And I breathe. Let me tell you, girl, that was hard, but I did it. And that's life. It's like if you wait for that moment to feel right for that money to come, for you to do what you want, or oh, I have 1 million now. I need to have 2 million so when I retire, I'll be comfortable. That's all stories. Those are labels, right? Labels we continue to put on ourselves. And it's like a heavy backpack of sand. It's like, that's why as parents, we have to let go of our children, girl. There's parents still after 18. They're still like, ay, nene, ¿qué tú necesitas? Bendito, he's 26. ¿Y qué más quiere? Tiene hambre. How can I help you? Or, you know,
I'm sorry,
it's,
but I call and text my daughter every day.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's something wrong with having that attachment
I
to
understand
our
100%.
children because they have to go through what they need to go through.
Yeah.
And as parents, we can all we do. Really, I stress the importance of praying. When I was going through that time with my son, I remember going to a church, and that's what I recommend. If anybody's going through a dark time, find yourself a church
Yeah.
that you like to go through. Too, I like a Christian church. I like to read the Bible. I like to praise and worship, just to get my mind off. But I went to a church at that time, and this person that was speaking wrote this book. It's called Deliverance for the Rebellious Child. A little handbook. Girl, this book was the reason why I stood with my son instead of choking him.
Really?
That book spoke about the importance of giving your son to God, your daughter to God in those times, watching what you say to your children, speaking the word over them, putting the blood of Jesus all around them, create this amazing energy of protection around them, send them love and light. All those things that are very, very important. That's the best thing we can do.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, give them love where they're dark. Let the light shine on. So I'm grateful for this book, and I highly recommend it. His name is John Keene.
Thank you
The
so
parent
much.
holds the key. Yeah.
You're getting a
But
lot of love on Facebook.
oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
know. It's
you're getting
working.
some
I
love.
didn't even know. That's so awesome.
Yeah, we have some watchers and they're tuning in and tuning out. And I know that God is asking everyone to tune right in at the perfect divine time where you're speaking something that's resonating right with their heart or right with their grief and their pain. Everyone is working in such divine timing with God, and God is putting us all in place where we need to be. So I'm a strong believer about intention is everything, and how you
Yes.
said prayers sending love and light to our children versus the fear and anxiety and worry and doubt and wondering if they're going to be okay, if they're going to be good enough, or if did I do a good enough job? Am I giving them to a world of God or a world of Satan, right? There's so many scary thoughts, and
Yes.
knowing that our thoughts are so powerful, our words are so powerful. They mean something. Whatever you think in the back of your mind, like I'm going to say something. Let's say you're in church and someone walks past you with a big
Mm.
cup of McDonald's, and then they're unwrapping their candy, making all kinds of ruckus, sugar, right? Here's my judgment. They get up to have to use the bathroom. They come back. Who's more righteous, me or them? I'm thinking in my head. So now I'm saying righteousness, things about myself and judgment and and what beliefs or thoughts that I didn't even want to think. I wanted to just go receive God. So being aware that we have so much subconscious programming running the show in our lives
Yeah.
that I don't need to think that anymore. I would like to not. I get to put that down. I am blessed to say so what?
Yes.
That's what I'm learning from my experiences with talking with you and reading your book and having this beautiful platform that we get to really question what it is that's running the show in our lives
Mhm.
and know that we're worthy to intend something different through God, through love, through light.
Yeah, we tend to bring a lot of our past with us, all the past, what my mother said, what my father said, and we're 50 something years old now. Where do we cut this off right here? Where do we cut that off? Even as a family member, I have 11 brothers and sisters. There's a point where you have to cut off all that stuff that they're saying back there because we all get stuck in at the age that one thing about family dynamic is when we get together, we become that child again. Like I'm number 11 of 12 kids. So they think that I'm number 11. So I'm somewhere down there. And even though I've been a successful business owner and took care of two children and had homes, all that, they still see me as the snotty little kid that's still lying or something. Like my point is not coming across because I'm that little girl. And then the elders act like, well, what I said goes. And I'm like, yo, no, no, no. We're all adults now. I'm not that snotty little kid anymore. Um, but hey, that was a good try. So we have to learn how to leave all that alone because a lot of clients that I have, the biggest problem they have is trying to live life for those people back there that are in their ear all the time. So it's important that we get a grip, right? That we connect with source, with our God, so that spirit will lead us into this next half of our lives. Not the judgment and the gossips and the beliefs. And I want them to like me. Oh, I can't believe she said that. That's such a lie. Well, guess what? They're going to believe that lie because they want to. Yeah, it's okay. You're not the perfect person. That's about you, though. At that point, that's about you. You can't seem to handle that because we want everybody to like us. You know, the Bible talks about that. Leave your family and cling on to your wife. There's a reason for that. For what we were talking about, a young man gets married and the mother, mijo, ¿qué tú haces hoy? Y la nena, pues ven buscarme. Hey, remember the Bible said, right? So there's nothing wrong with that because, of course, we want to be there for our family, et cetera, et cetera. But we have to be there for ourselves, for our calling, our oxygen. You know, that's the oxygen we breathe now. It's not the old days. One of the readers wrote me and said, your book reminded me of the book Eat, Pray, Love
Mm,
and Conversations with God.
it's beautiful.
That's so true. The book is actually both of those things. It really brings you into that space of eat, pray, love, allowing the rug to be pulled from under your feet, but then elevating into God's arms and allowing Him to lead you and
So
trust the path.
I'm going to ask the hard question that we all probably wonder, right? Like, how do we get to that when we're feeling so desperate and despair?
The first thing that I would say to you, to anyone that's out there, learn to breathe. Breathe. Take a deep breath. There are times in life where you just have to breathe from your belly, all coming from the very, almost by your pubic bone. And
Mhm.
sometimes you go hold it, just hold it, and then give it a 3 count, and then let it go. And do that 3 times. When you find yourself in that moment of anxiety and not trusting and upset and disappointment, because disappointment comes every day, all the time. But God has this peace, and it's in this body of ours where He resides. You know, we're the little G. Bible says we're the little G. He's the big G. We're the little G, but we're the goddesses. We're the feminine. We are the queens. We are the apple of His eye. And that's another thing that happens to us as women. Me da calofrío. Thank you, Lord.
Speak
You
that
know,
truth, girl.
yeah, I was like, okay, God. But, it's that feminine and masculine energy that we carry. We carry that energy, and it's so beautiful. But a lot of us tend to be more masculine as women. All of a sudden, the feminine starts going, and then what happens? And you're like, I can't believe you said that, or no, I can't. Get out of my way. I mean, the guy's in my way. I'm trying to get to my job, and this guy, da, da. And all of a sudden, you find yourself uneasy, impatient. That means that you are now entering into a high level of testosterone's masculine energy. And you want to bring yourself back, give yourself grace, because we all do that. But come back to your feminine side. We lose it in life, our feminine, beautiful side that I see in you, which is I love when you speak, because you have this, and how are you? I just love you. It's just like aura all the way around you. I love that. And so that's important. And I think that we all need to learn to continue to balance that. Even if you're a married woman, you know, my mother used to always get dressed before my father got home from work. Always. Okay. And she ran that house, mira, ironing, limpiando las cortinas, mapeando, whatever she had to do. But at 3:30 every day, she would stop and go upstairs, take a shower, put on a pretty dress, put on her makeup. And she didn't wear a lot of makeup. She was a lipstick, and she used a lipstick to put it on her cheek.
Qué linda tú.
I know, but every day, that's what she did. And he came home to a beautiful wife. It was crazy. I was like, wow, this lady's a trip. 12 kids, okay? So she must have known something. And what I got from that was that we are responsible for the energy we bring into our relationship. And that's why some people divorce and that, because the one, doesn't take care of himself or herself the way they used to. And, I've been asking you that I want to smell your beautiful neck, and I want to be feeling you the way I met you, and and now you're like, hey, hair everywhere, disheveled, don't care. He should be happy that he's got food on the table, et cetera, et cetera. I think that we need to keep that sacredness about us as women. It's a beautiful, that feminine, powerful goddess energy that we have. We have to continue to tap into that daily, just tap into that, because it holds so much power. It holds so much power, especially as a Puertorriqueña, que somos nosotras, olvídate. This taino blood, Maria, cállate. And our ancestors, the
They're
ones that
so
came
beautiful and
before us,
proud.
Oh, I love it. But that's the other piece, the ancestral power that we have. They're with us. They're with
Yeah,
us. Our mothers that are gone, our fathers that are gone, our uncles, aunts, they're with us. They're with us and they're watching us and they're with us. And so I always, and this is new for me because it took me a long time to take off my Catholic hat and then my Christian hat and then my beliefs hat and my judgment hat to finally say, we we have our ancestors with us. We have them because we are spirits.
it's 11:11
I
in
love
Chicago.
it. I love it. And it's true though. It's like I'm so grateful to have learned that.
Yeah,
I was so
thank
grateful
you.
that my dad is with me, that I don't have to suffer. The other day, yesterday, girl, I heard Luther Vandross dance with my father.
Wow.
Nena, ¿para qué fue eso? I sat down and I just started crying again. I said, I miss you so much. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I allowed that energy just to be where it's at. And I just sensed him with me together.
yeah,
And I just let it go.
it's
I let it go
beautiful.
knowing he's with me. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. Life is beautiful.
It is. It really is. I'm grateful for this time that we spent together. I'm grateful for your book. I'm grateful for your shares. Um, is there anything, any last closing comments or words you want to leave us with?
Um, just know that you can't do anything alone. What you're going through, what you're struggling with, there are people out there to support you through it. I've spent a lot of money in my education. I'm not talking college. I'm talking about breakthrough life courses that I've taken in Chicago. Pathways is one that opened the doors for me. Land what is it, landmark studies, that's another one that'll help you to release these labels and all that stuff, that ancestral stuff that you have inside of you. um and continue to meditate, tap into YouTube meditation, 5-minute meditation.
Thank you.
Allow the spirit to rise in you as you meditate. That's what happens. And even when you're in those moments of, oh my God, of despair and you're in the streets, take a moment and breathe. Allow that moment to be okay right where it's at, you
Yeah.
know? So the book, I will say, it's on Amazon.
Yes.
Um, God wrote this book. I'm just a vessel being used. My name is on there. This is me. I'm up in the hills of Puerto Rico. I wrote this entire book in Puerto Rico.
It's so beautiful.
And it was a span of 4 years. So I just allowed that to unravel itself. And these are my parents. I want to show you the
Let me
reason I
see.
wrote the book.
Oh my God, your mom and dad. So love, so much love, and you right in the middle.
I know. And that was my birthday, girl. And I said, Pops, Mom, do this for me.
That's
And
fabulous.
they are the reason I am who I am today. And a proud Puerto Rican here in Puerto Rico making a difference.
Amen.
Yes. Thank you, man.
Oh my
Oh, want to
God.
see my mangoes before you go?
Yes,
Mira,
I do.
look how big they are. Cállate que
I,
yo voy a comer.
I love them. I love them. I love them. Girl, enjoy. Okay,
Thank you.
let me do a little closing ceremony. Let's do a little breathing, just like a
Yes.
little gratitude, a little breathing for the sealing, right? Let's just seal in this word, seal in this amazing container that we created, and everyone who was able to pop in and out to receive the word that they needed to hear, that God is divinely working in them as well, that everyone who is alive with breath has the right to live their life fully and abundantly for the greater good of all. It is your divine right. to be here in full expression, in full love, in full creation. Whenever you forget this, just remember who you are. You are nothing more than light and pure, unconditional love. Amen.
Amen, girl.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
your
so
love.
much. And I'm working on my second book.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm
And
working on my second book.
you know you have a platform here whenever you want to talk about it, and let us know
Yeah,
when it comes out so that we can read it. And if anybody's
definitely.
interested in picking up this book, The Homeless Mind, on Amazon, and maybe you
Yes.
can reach out to Teresa, let her know how it's moved you and transformed you, and any insights or tips or tools or wisdom or knowledge, additional connections you might want to make. Teresa's available. You can find her at the back of the book at closetcoach2012@gmail.com.
Yes,
So thank
and the website under my name.
Teresa Lugo without the H.
Yep, teresalugo.com. You can reach out to me there. I have a half-hour session if you want to just talk. I also have coaching. I'm an
Yeah,
executive life coach now, and my desire is just to see women just empower themselves and take the labels off and the weights off, and let's fly together.
amen. Thank you so much. Have
Thank
a
you. I love
wonderful
you.
day.
Thank you.
Bye, honey. Bye,
Bye.
guys.